All right, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to the next part of your notes. Remember, this is FSA practice, so any of these questions is fair game for your test. Please make sure that you write them all down. If you need to pause the video, do so. Make sure you write them down, you have them in your notes, and you double check to make sure you understand it. I will be checking your notes for all of these questions. Number one, the expression 4x plus 6y represents the sum of Frank and Mike's total monthly wages, where X represents the number of hours Frank worked. Okay, so X is Frank, and Y represents the number of hours Mike worked. So Y is Mike. Okay, what is another way to write the expression? What can you conclude from rewriting it in this way? Here are our answer choices. Now, first of all, I'm going to ignore all of these words. I want to focus on the left-hand side. I want to see which one of those options matches with my initial expression. Okay, so let me do some math here. I know that for each one of these, I'm going to distribute. Okay, distribute, distribute, distribute. I want to distribute in each one and see if the answer matches with my initial expression. Okay, now obviously, yes, I'm going to use a calculator. I'm looking at A first. So, if I have 4 times x, that's going to be 4x, good. And then 4 times 1.5 is going to be 6, plus 6y. So it looks like A could be correct so far. Okay, let's go to B. Well, I know if I do 6 times 4, that's going to be 24x. Now, if I look up here, there's no 24x, there's a 4x. So it looks like B is wrong. I'm going to put an x through B. Okay, let's move on. Well, 4 times x is 4x. That's good. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a 4x. But 4 times 2 is going to be 8. 8y. I have 6y up here, not 8y. Looks like C is also wrong. Okay. Let's say that I try out D. 4 times x is going to be 4x. And 4 times 1.5 will be 1.5y. Okay. Well, it looks like D could also be the right answer. Okay, now it's time to look at the writing. I already know that B is wrong, so I'm going to go ahead and cross it out. I'm going to cross that out. Okay, now let's take a look at what the words mean. A is telling us that Mike's hourly wage is 1.5 times as much as Frank's. And D is telling us that Frank's hourly wage is 1.5 times as much as Mike's. Well, this is pretty easy. Each one of these expressions has a 1.5. The word times means multiplication, right? Okay, so basically 1.5 times y, 1.5 times y. Well, hold on. Up here, whoops, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm looking for 1.5 times y. Yeah? If I look up here at my initial expression, y was how much Mike earned, right? So if y is how much Mike earned, then Mike's hourly wage is 1.5 times as much as Frank's, or is Frank's hourly wage 1.5 times Mike? Once again, y is Mike, so 1.5 times Mike. Voila, my answer is going to be D. Moving on. Sofia's t-shirt store earns a 60-cent profit for each shirt that it sells and a 60-cent profit for each hat that it sells. Which expression shows Sofia's total profits from selling shirts and hats? Well, if it's going to be 0.60 for every shirt and 0.60 for every hat, and you add these together, this is the expression that I just wrote from reading the question, and I need to see which one of these matches up with it, okay? Here we go. Let's try out A. If I distribute A, I'm going to multiply 0.60 times everything inside. It's going to be 0.60 times S times 0.60 times H. I see no plus sign. This is just multiplication. So A is going to be wrong. Now looking at them automatically, I can tell you that F, do you see a plus sign? I don't see a plus sign. F is also going to be wrong. Now let's keep on going. Once again, I'm just looking for things to look at a place, right? Here, 1.20 times S times H, if I'm distributing, it doesn't matter. There's a 1.20. none of my numbers here is a 1.20. E, I can tell right from looking at it, is wrong. Notice how automatically you started off with 6 possible answer choices, you're down to 3, right? Okay, which expressions show you are looking for multiple possible answers. So there's going to be more than one answer. Now I'm sure some of you already realized that what we have written here on the right hand side is exactly the same as B. So obviously B is going to be correct. Great. Now let's check the other ones. Now here, for D, unless I'm mistaken, 0.60 plus S plus 0.60 plus H, there's no multiplication here. And I know that 0.60 is being multiplied by S and 0.60 is being multiplied by hours. It's a profit per hour. It's a profit per shirt. I'm sorry, not hours. A profit per hat and a profit per shirt. Per, in this case, would be multiplication. There is no multiplication here. D is wrong. I already know that C has to be the right answer, but let me check. If I take 0.60 and I multiply it times S, it will give me 0.60S. 0.60 times H, 0.60H. Ah, so B and C are equivalent. B and C are my answers. Moving on. Patrick and Gabby both get paid an equal hourly wage of $14 per hour. Okay, so Patrick and Gabby each get 14 per hour. Okay, so this week Patrick made an additional $58. Additional means plus, I know that, in overtime. Select the expression below that represents the weekly wages of both if X is the number of hours Patrick worked, so X is Patrick, and Y equals the number of hours Gabby worked. Y is Gabby. So basically, $14 per hour for Patrick, that's an X, that's an X. $14 an hour for Y, that's Gabby, and an additional $58 in overtime. Okay, now I'm looking for, well, if I look here in my answer choices, I might not know what goes here, but all of my answer choices in between 14x and 14y have a plus sign, more or less. It looks like it's going to be a plus sign. You're looking for how much they all earn in total, right? So you're looking for what's the weekly wages of both in total. The total is you add them all up. So you're looking for all pluses. Once again, if you're looking for all pluses, guess what? This is a minus sign, minus sign, minus sign. All three of those are wrong. B is wrong, D is wrong, F is wrong. Once again, you automatically just reduced your workload just by looking at it and trying to make sense of the situation. Now, if you take a good solid look, A is exactly the same as what we've written out here. So you know A is right. And I apologize. This down here should have been the expressions, plural. Okay? Now let's take a look at C. Okay? If I distribute, 14 times x will be 14x. 14 times y will be 14y. And then plus 58 stays the same. Oh look, it's exactly the same as A. Let's move on. Let's do E. Well, I don't see any number outside the parentheses to distribute. As a matter of fact, let me just rewrite it without my parentheses. 14x plus 58 plus 14y. Now notice, they changed the order for this, but do you still have 14x and 14x? Yes. Okay. Do you still have 58 and 58? Yes. Okay. Do you still have 14y and 14y? Yes. Okay. So E is also a correct answer. Ladies and gentlemen, I know this was long, but these are important, so make sure they go in your notes. Bye.